Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and very good morning. Alhamdulillah, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa barik wa sallim. So this video series will explain about topic 1 in calculus, which entitled limit and continuity. So for the learning outcome, at the end of this lesson, students should be able to describe the concept of limits. Second, explain one-sided limit and two-sided limit. Third, find limit numerically, analytically, and graphically. And lastly, students should be able to compute the limit at infinity. So this is the references that student can use. Okay, so this chapter contains 6 subtopics, which begin with limit of a function, and then evaluate limit using numerical method. Third one, evaluate limit using graphical method. Fourth, evaluate limit using analytical method. Then we are discussing about limit at infinity, and lastly, the topic of continuity. So limit of a function. Limit is the most important concept of all calculus. The main idea of calculus, okay, which is the derivative and the integral, are actually defined by using limits. So all you need is to develop an intuitive understanding, and you will see how simple these concepts are. So the concept of limit study what will happen to a function when variable x approaches a certain value. So consider an example which will help you to understand the concept of limit. So suppose there is a huge forest blaze with raging fire. So imagine that you are moving closer to the forest, so which is the distance x, okay, between you and forest. So as you keep on moving, you start feel heat, okay, all over your body. So let the temperature on the surface of your body measured as Fx. Now as you getting closer to the fire, increase heat effect on your body. So the closer you get, the greater the sense of heat. So now you would not want to actually put yourself in the fire, but yet as you get close and close to the fire, you have sensed that temperature on the surface of your body will increase until it reaches the temperature of fire. Okay, so if you describe this statement, okay, as a graphical, okay, so where x is a distance, okay, distance, and then let's say the fx as, okay, the heat that you feel, okay. So let's say okay, here the point where the forest blaze are, okay, so this is temperature distribution. Alright, so if you are here, let's say if you are here, let's say x1, okay, you saw the huge forest blaze here, okay, so you start approach the forest blaze. So as you approach the forest, okay, you start feel the heat increasing, okay, towards your body. Okay, this is the concept of limit. So same goes if you are at the right hand side of the forest blaze. So suppose you are at the distance of x2, okay, so you saw the forest blaze, so you are approaching the fire, okay, as you approach the fire, still same, you start feel the increase of heat. So in limit, so we are not interested in the value of fx when x equals to c. So we are more interested in the behavior of fx as x come close and closer to a value of c, which is x approaches c. So the notation of one-sided limit is given as follows. We have left side limit, okay, if x approaches c from the left. Okay, so we put the notation negative here. So as x approaches c from the right, okay, we call it as right side limit. Then we put the positive sign. Okay, so in the number line, okay, so suppose we have c here. Okay, so if x approaches c from the left, okay, we use the left side limit. On the other hand, if we have x which approaches c from the right hand side, okay, we use the right side limit. Okay. Okay, so when does a limit exist? A limit exists if and only if, okay, if both corresponding one-sided limit, which are the left side limit and the right side limit, are exist and equal. Okay, so by definition, if the limit from the left and right sides have the same value, which means it exists and it equal, okay, or we have in this notation, okay, limit from the left equals to L, limit from the right also equals to L. So then limit, okay, is written as, okay, the limit of fx as x approaches c is equals to L. Okay, alright, so this is the graphical about approaches c from the left and from the right hand side. Okay, so as x approaches c from the left, okay, is illustrated like right here, and then this is for the right hand side. So limit exists because one-sided limit exists, okay, exists, and the value are equal. Okay, so find the limits. So limit can be evaluated, okay, by using three methods. Okay, the first one is by using numerical approach, next graphical approach, and lastly the analytical approach. Alright, so details on these three methods will be explained on the next video. So thank you very much for your attention. Assalamualaikum and very good morning.